Hello, and thanks for joining me for episode number 53 of the 1 5. As always, I'm your podcast hostess, Trisha Lewis, and in this weekly podcast, I hope to bring you some great EdTech tools, tips, and tricks. In this week's episode, I will be talking about Google Arts and Culture. Google Arts and Culture is a free online platform that was initially released in February 2011 that allows users to explore art and cultural content from around the world. It includes high-resolution images and videos of artworks and artifacts from museums, galleries, and cultural institutions. Google Arts and Culture offers tools for students and teachers to explore thousands of images of paintings, sculptures, and historical artifacts, create galleries of favorite images for lesson plans, use art to communicate ideas, and communicate ideas through art, use downloadable lesson plans to learn about art, science, historical events, and so much more. Some of my favorite Google Arts and Culture components are the virtual museum tours, learning about great works of art by zooming in on super high-res images and playing the fun games. Games that have always been a hit whenever I've shared them in the past are Blob Opera, which you can create classical music with the Google Blobs, Art Coloring Book, you can fill in online or print the images and use real colors or paint, Geo Artwork, or guess the origins of artifacts from around the world, and Paint with Music, create music with a brushstroke. There are some things that you can do on the app version of Google Arts and Culture that you cannot do through the web version, like use augmented reality functions of projecting art anywhere, transforming selfies or other photos in the style of Kandinsky or Van Gogh, create AI-generated postcards, and so much more. I highly recommend you take a tour around both the web and app version of Google Arts and Culture. There's so many things to explore and learn. Do you want to learn more about EdTech in your learning environment? Check out my website, trishalewis.com. There you can explore my resources, subscribe to my weekly email newsletter, and contact me. Don't want to miss any episodes in the future? Be sure to go to your favorite podcast app and search for the 1 5 podcast and subscribe. Feel free to review and rate and let me know what you think of this podcast. Keep in mind the information shared on this podcast may take additional clearances from your tech department to work properly in your district, school, or classroom. I have vetted all the information shared on this podcast and is available and or correct on the date the podcast is originally published. But remember that services, sites, or products can change or become unavailable without a lot of notice. Thanks for listening, and join me next week for another episode of the 1 5.